Okay, so first really good look at the hull. Okay, let's get on with a bit of cleaning. Okay, so that was a bit of an effort. Probably doesn't really show up on the video, but to my eye it's definitely cleaner. So I've got all the debris out, and then I've sort of, using the brush, managed to get all that sort of thick dust out as well. There's still some dried dust and rubbish down the edge of the keel. I'll use a wire brush to get most of that out. So I think that's it for today. We're going to look into get some more rot wood penetrating repair liquid, whatever you like to call it, because there's some areas where there is a bit of rot, but it's not all the way through. The timber's structurally sound. Surprisingly, well, not surprising I suppose, but it's all quite, I don't want to use that word, but they're all quite solid. Some of them in fact won't need a big sand, they'll just need a very sort of light going over to clean up the surface. But there's no rot really at all down this side, which is great. And likewise, there's no real rot over here apart from that corner, which is going to take a little bit of work. So yeah, so the next job is to prep it, and I think with the areas that need rust liquid repair, whatever you want to call it, and then obviously prime, and then proper, see I don't know what sort of paint they use, but proper bilge paint. So this guy managed to clear the surface, and it is surface, it's, I've put a screwdriver and tapped it and all the rest. It still feels quite solid. This springer has got to be replaced. Now whether I can do a cut and replace, which means terminate at one of the ribs and join it together, although that's not the strongest, or perhaps just replace the whole stringer. I'm not 100%. It goes up to the main bulkhead, I think. That would probably be the best solution. This upright's okay. So surprisingly, out of the entire, and all this stemmed from this leak right here, which has been fixed since I did that beading with silicone a few episodes back. So you can see it's dry now. There's been no more leaking. That is the only repair work that I can see is required for the rest of the hull, or certainly the aft section of the hull. I've yet to get in under there, obviously, but that by rights should be even better, simply because there's been less moisture up there. So there we are. So I think I'm done with the vacuuming today and the cleaning. I might see if I can have a go of getting rid of the gas box. Yeah, make some room and then tidy up. So let's crack on. Alrighty, so now that most of the vacuuming is done, as best as I can, I've gotten most of the dust and rubbish out. So I'm going to wash it now, similar to what I did in the forward cabin a few episodes back. So I've got some cleaner with bleach in it. That'll help at least clean up the timbers a bit, but also kill off any mold and whatnot, and hopefully remove some of the stains, not all of them perhaps. So I'll get cracking with that, and then that'll really, then after that, you know, we're into sanding, and then move on to paint, but that's a ways away yet. So I'll crack on. Okay, so probably really can't, probably not showing up that great. You can't see it particularly well with the video. But as you've seen, I've just gone through with the cleaner, and as best I can. Obviously there are parts, areas that I just physically can't get to, but the majority of it's clean, degreased, clean, bleached, whatever you want to call it. And I can get some sanding done now, hook into it with some sanding for those bits that aren't going to be replaced. I think the key thing here is down in there. If you remember the last one of the videos, a few videos back, when I showed you, I've managed to clean up a lot of the crap that was building up, a lot of the crud that was building up around the keel. Still looks dirty that side, but that's not dirt. That's actually, that red is the primer underneath the paint. So I've managed to cut right back. There's still obviously a few bits to go. I've managed to tidy up this corner. I'll prep that now for some gel, some wood hardener, you know, rot prevention, wood hardener gel. I can patch that. And then once it's dry, I'll get in there with a wire brush, scrape as much away as I can, and then, you know, short of literally pulling the boat apart and starting from scratch, there's not a lot to do, but most of the stuff's off. And it's come out quite nice, actually. This side's much better. I mean, that's incredibly clean compared to what it was. So that's good. So happy with that. Did it all underneath there. I've left this bit for the time being. I want to get in there with a wire brush, get all that corrosion off. Just see what condition all those bolts, nuts, etc. are in. And then obviously tidy up this corner once I'll have to move everything around, obviously, to make some space. And of course I've got to pull that piece of decking up as well, get in under there and finish it off. But it's coming along. It wasn't the nicest job in the world, but restoring boats isn't always about varnishing and polishing. Okay, so let's crack on.